That is so. I mean, the consumers, and that's why I referred to self-sumers, because it's more in the hands of the self-sumer now. And the big challenge for the media, to my mind, is to capture the intention of the self-sumer, not just the attention. So let me explain the difference. If I'm advertising, let's say, a motor vehicle, and I capture your attention, so you say, that's an interesting looking vehicle, quite good. I must keep that in mind. That's captured your attention. But then 3-4 weeks later you say, okay, it is time for me to buy a new car, and you walk past a particular display of the new models that you happen to see in a display room of a motor vehicle company. And you go in and the salesman does his or her pitch to you and you buy the car. So the original advert that you saw, commercial that you saw, was not achieved what was required, which was to capture your intention to buy. Because if I captured your intention rather than just your attention, you would have bought the car that I was advertising. And this is a very interesting aspect of the new media, because new media allows you, enables you to be much more creative in your commercials, in your advertising, whether it be on paper or as I've already described, or directly on the internet, or even through interactive TV. So if I can capture your intention to purchase, or intention to travel, or intention to eat, then you will buy my product, or you will travel to where I'm suggesting you do, or you'll eat at the restaurant that I am promoting. And the best way, again, that goes back to an old concept. The concept of capturing really people's intention goes back a long, long time, many decades, to involving the emotions in advertising. Because if you're not emotionally engaged, you don't remember. And now with new media, you can really involve, draw in the viewer's whole personality and persona into the advert by involving emotions. Emotions are very powerful. You yourself will remember recollections of your own going back to when you were very, very young. Those particular recollections you recall because there was some emotional content. Either it was love, or it was fear, or it was interest, or if it was novelty, some sort of emotional activity which was coupled to the particular memory, which enables you to remember these things all your life. And in my own case, I can remember certain things where I was no older than 3 and a bit, and because of the emotional content. But I can't remember where I ate last week because there was no particular emotional involvement. I think the so-called infotainment approach is certainly the way to begin, but I think there are much bigger possibilities through, again, ubiquitous participation. People can participate. So once you begin to engage them in a commercial, why not involve them in the commercial? Why not get their feedback then and there and actually discuss it with them? It doesn't have to be a live person discussing. It can be an avatar. It's driven by intelligent software, which then says, so you're interested in this. What has caught your attention? Why have I captured your intention? And there's really a remarkable opportunity now for participative advertising online. And I think we're only in the very beginning phase of this. And there's lots, I think, of new business plans that are possible in interactive or participative advertising. Well, you know, it goes back to this open source idea that I was referring to. Everything's open source now. So no one is really passive anymore. And you know, you can see this in the smartphones that people carry around more and more. You know, whether it's a BlackBerry or whether it's an iPhone or whether it's a Samsung phone or whatever. But they're cradling these things in their hands. So they've become intimate devices. So the smartphone is something that's always within easy reach of you. It's always on if you want it to be always on. It always enables you to be participative because you can take pictures. What is also interesting now is that projectors are being integrated into smartphones. So you're now beginning to see smartphones which have inbuilt projectors, so you can take out your smartphone and you can project an image on a wall, on a piece of paper, on someone's back, whatever it is. And so you can have the big screen experience as well as the small screen experience, and I think that's going to play quite an interesting role. But this smartphone, this intimate device that people are carrying around more and more, really begs for them to participate more. I can give you an example of really a remarkable piece of ubiquitous participation, and that was Internet Symphony No. 1, which was written recently by Tan Dunn. And then the invitation went out last year worldwide through YouTube to musicians to audition for the symphony. And all you had to do was to play on your particular instrument and use a web camera, of course, to show your performance and send it in. And then there were judges who looked at all these submissions from all around the world. And they selected some of them. And then YouTube members, if you were registered on YouTube, you could vote on who you thought were a really good performance. And then the finalists or the winners, the prize was to go to New York City and to the Carnegie Hall for a performance under the world famous Michael Tilson Thomas, the great conductor, and to spend a few days being coached by the leaders in the world. And the judges, before the YouTube audience got involved, but the judges themselves were drawn from the top orchestras worldwide: London Symphony, San Francisco, Chicago, and so forth. And a remarkable display of, again, open source generation of an orchestra and ubiquitous participation, people from all over the world, and ultimately 63 people in April of this year converged on the Carnegie Hall and performed Symphony No. 1. So again, a remarkable illustration of the versatility, the capability of new technologies, and again, enabling technologies that have been around for centuries. In other words, musical instruments and music itself.